You ready to do this video? You ready to get it done? You hot? All right. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tony. This is Tony's Tractor Adventure Homestead. Yeah. Anyway, it's hot. Forgot who we were. Anyway, this is the new Pro Max 450 by Bighorn. So Bighorn 450 Pro Max. This is the truck. This is the work. This is their work truck, if you will. It's first impressions, I really like it. So let's start walking you through it. I'm not going to bore you to death with a whole bunch of talking of me telling you a story. We're just going to talk about the side-by-side. This is new on the market. It's been around for a while, but it's just becoming prevalent here. So let's go ahead and talk it over. All right, so this is basically just like the Bighorn that you would find at Tractor Supply as far as from here to about the seat. Very, very similar. I mean, very, very similar. And we'll walk you through all that. So I guess first off, we will start off with the operator station. So let me jump over in it and we'll show you where all the buttons and gizmos are at. No, don't get in my side-by-side here. You're gonna get dirty. I want to keep it clean for a day. No, you stay. All right, so let's start off by the operator station. On the left side of the steering wheel, you got the parking brake. I'm going to tell you as we go the things I like and don't like about it. For me, the angle of the parking brake is kind of hard. It would be a little more comfortable if it came out and curled up like this. That way you would have like a little more leverage to pull down. So when the parking brake is on, it's kind of hard sometimes to push in the button and get it off. My wife struggles with that. I think most men would probably be okay with it, but I think if a man went in and tied it down like that, maybe my wife couldn't turn the parking brake off. So you got to pull down, push the button in. It's a little, that's harder than it probably needs to be. All right, so coming back to the steering wheel, this unit does not have power steering. And to this point, I don't really, I mean, I can tell that it doesn't have power steering, but I haven't had any issues of driving it. I don't think Tanya's drove it yet, so we'll yeah, you did drive it, so and any troubles, you know it's harder. So just talking to her off camera, the only problem she's had driving it is just the parking brake. So she said driving it's just no big deal. So here is your gear selector. It has park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. And it has, to start it, you do have to put your foot on the brake. It will not start without that. So even if it's in park or in neutral, it will not start without your foot on the brake. So to the right of that is your key. Turns the, you know, everybody knows what key does. Duh. Anyway, so here is your display. You got your fuel, you got your miles per hour, your engine temperature, and the gauge or the gear that you're in. And then this is your tachometer. It goes up and down. Nice little tachometer. And then you can also choose, like I'm running it in the temperature gauge for the engine right now because of the time of year, but you can also put your voltage. Right now it's not running, so that's just battery voltage. Or you can put, I have no idea what that does. I think it's your different gears. Not really sure. I need to look that up in the manual. But your odometer, got 12.3 miles on it, which is not a lot. And trip odometer 1, trip odometer 2. And then how many hours is on it. So you can just keep pushing it and go through all that. Then you can also just have the time if that's what you want. Like I said, this time of year, it's hot outside. I'm keeping the temperature gauge up so I can know what the temperature is of the engine. All right, moving down, we'll go to, it's so simple. You have two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. You do have right down here, you have a button where you can push lock, and it locks the rear differential. You do not have the option of locking the front differential on this one. Here's winch in and out. Turn signals left and right. Hazards on, hazards off. And then when you do turn this is turning your lights on. And then when you turn your lights on, you have a choice between low beam and high beam. But this one doesn't have like parking lights. It's either lights are on or lights are off. So that's, you know, some of them have the 550 Bighorn, you can have just the parking lights on, or you can have your headlights on. So you have a combination of possibilities there. All right, moving on to this side, you've got just basically like a little glove box, and that's normally where I put my gloves. And then you have this one power outlet right here, 12-volt power. Another little cubby right here, and then the brake pedal and the gas pedal are, I'm I'm average height. I'm 5'9", 5'10". Tanya's 5'7" as a woman, and we find that this is pretty good. There's not a tilt steering wheel on this particular model, and for me, I just don't think it's really necessary in something this small. Kind of just extra stuff to tear up. All right, so this is the bench seat, and let me step off of this without getting on Gizmo's paws, and we'll see what's under the seat.
He wants to get inside.
He wants to get inside. He don't like bugs. All right, under the seat. It does have a nice big metal fuel tank, and I really like that. I don't know, people get away from metal. Battery right here. Now this battery, I do like the fact that it has a bigger battery box. This will take a more common size battery here in the United States, so you're not necessarily just bound to this particular battery. Come over to this side, you've got a toolbox storage. It's where you put your gizmos, whatnot. I believe, if I remember correctly, that's what comes with some tools. That's what you need to do your spark plugs, screwdrivers, a couple common wrench sizes, right? So that comes with it. You know, if you're out on a trail and you need to change the spark plug out or something, and you know, you can get to it. I don't see anything else in here that we just life altering. It's really easy to get to everything on here. That's your fuel filter. Yeah, that's just your fuel filter. It honestly looks like a General Motors fuel filter, so probably can find this local at a AutoZone if you ever need to change it. This has fuel injection. So, all right, so let's go ahead and put the seat back in its place.
There's two big stuff there in front.
Yeah, but I didn't get the back little clip in. It's really not that hard. I'm just new at this one. I can do the big one really easy. All right, so that is the seat. I do like this. I didn't think I'd like this. You have adjustable headrests. I went through a little ditch and it kind of threw me a little bit, and I just felt that caress to the back of my head, and that would have been the difference of a little whiplash. So I did like that. Seat belts, got 3-point seat belts. Very, very simple. Nice roof. You see anything else on the interior? It comes with mirrors. Here's the mirrors here. Cup holder here, and a cup holder on the other side. So you have a his and hers cup holder. And let's go ahead and look under the hood. We'll go ahead and take these two clips off, and just let you get up under and look at the hood. This is your brake master cylinder fluid. This is your radiator. This is your surge tank overflow tank for the radiator. This is the rear reverse buzzer. It fell off. So sorry about that. It falls off by unclipping this little thing right here. If you just push that little thing in, and it will fall off. I don't recommend that. It's probably against some kind of safety rule, but if it did happen, you know why it happened. So
What happened?
yeah, put this back on. You just got two little hooks. Wrap it back in, and then little birdies and stuff pooping on it. All right, so next thing we got is a winch. If I can remember rightly, this is 3,500 pound winch. It's just turn it to the rear. It releases it so it pulls itself out. Turn it back, or you can free spool it out. It's just like any winch, nothing special about it at all. Things that I don't like, or I would like to see this. I would like to see a guard on these, over these little boots, and I may make something to guard these. And again, this is not going to be like going through the woods, and that may be why they don't have it on there. This is more like a work site farm. You know, we're not going Baja and rough housing with it. It's going to be, this is what's going to do a lot of work on our farm. It's probably going to be the primary side-by-side actually, because of the bed. So let's go, speaking of the bed, let's go to the back. Coming down the passenger side, you have a big 5-foot bed. That's very unusual. You've got these extra storage areas. They have a dual locking system. So this is like a double safety. You unlock this one, and you have a big, nice, I mean, it's, I don't know, 1.5 foot deep. It's a nice toolbox there. And this one seems to be pretty weather resistant. I won't say it's not waterproof, but it's weather resistant. Then we get back to the meat and potatoes of why this one's special is the bed, 5-foot bed. Now this one is an all metal bed. The thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have like a bed liner in it, and that's not really anybody. You know, that's kind of what we'll do. We'll go ahead and put a spray in bed liner, or I even looked at like Tractor Supply. They have like milking mats. They're 4 foot wide by 6 foot wide, thick rubber mats that I thought about gluing down to this. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think in a comment. Probably just have it carried up and have somebody spray a truck bed liner in it. Probably be cost effective and probably make it last a long, long time. Okay, so this is the claim to fame, is the sides come down. Well, let's show you the back. So this is the one you're gonna normally do. You're just gonna take the back down, throw something up in here. And what we did the other day is we took a pallet and set it up in here with a bunch of, we're upgrading our sawmill to hydraulic. You come with a pallet of stuff. And the pallet sits perfectly in this bed. And I just drove the tractor up and set it right in the back without having any problems with this. You're looking at, it's a little over, it's like 4 foot wide and then an extra inch or so on either side. So it's a little bit wider than a pallet, so it gives you a little leadway. But if you need a little bit more room, you also can just pop the side here and then this comes down. Now these are also removable. There's if you look right here, it's kind of hard to see on the top from the top because there's a little plastic cover. There's these 2 little nuts here, and that's just a stop to keep this from sliding out. So what you can do, raise this up, push that lets the little stop come off. You gotta take one of them all the way off. And I think that's a good thing. You have to take it completely off, because if you didn't, if they ever come loose, they would just slide back and forth and then allow it to get loose while you're driving. It's literally the first time I took that off. I took the other side off, but same thing. And then all of a sudden, now you have a flatbed truck. So that's another benefit. All right, let's put this back on and see if I can do it by myself. So each one of the pins have a little bevel. It wasn't very hard at all. There's that little latch thingy under the side. Put it back in there, screw it up tight, and that way it can't come off. So in the bed there are 4 tie downs in either corner. One thing I did notice is the tie downs are kind of high. I think it would be better if the tie downs were lower, but this is something you can always add plenty more. It's just nothing fancy. There's tie downs that you can get at Harbor Freight. A couple of drill holes and you could put some tie downs in the bed. There's nothing that's going to get in the way of, so you can put tie downs all over this thing if you want to. So that leaves it up to you. Let's go around to the rear here and I'll show you the back end. Again, you got your big differential, and then you got your trailer hitch. It's got a class 3 trailer hitch on it. And I will put how much weight that it can pull in this video about right here, because I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, now we're the big elephant in the room. How much will it haul? Well, that is on the website at 882 pounds is what you can put in the bed of this. That's a lot of weight. I mean, most things that we're gonna do, it's not gonna be 800. It's not a truck. It's not my Ram 2500. We're not going to put 4,000 pounds in the back of it. It's not that kind of tool, but you can put a whole bunch of 2x4s. You can put a whole bunch of, or you can put a pallet of, that, I don't know, that pallet was like 500 pounds. I put the 500 pound pallet in the back of this and it didn't even sit down. So the springs are, it's really, they're going to say it's 882 pounds. I honestly feel comfortable. I would put a, half ton in it easy. So, because you got to take into account, it can carry 2 grown men and a dog. What are you doing in my side-by-side? You know you ain't supposed to be in there. So anyway, it can carry 2 grown men. Let's say, each one of those are, 250 pounds. Well, you add it up, 500 pounds up front, 882 pounds in the back. If you don't have another 250 pound guy in the front, then you can transfer that weight to the back, because it handles the 500 pound pallet in the back like it's nothing back there. I will say this too, it actually rides better because it does have such a stiff suspension. It rides better when there's a load in the back end. Let's work our way around. I guess let's talk about the tires. Yeah, let's talk about the tires. 25 by 10 by 12, so 12-inch rims. And comes with a nice rim. It's got disc brakes. The shocks are not adjustable on this particular one. I believe that's because of what it kind of, what it's meant to do. These are pretty heavy springs. If you look in the back, so you look at the standard Bighorn that's just for a side-by-side, the rear springs are nowhere near as heavy. This one has some extremely heavy rear springs. Also, it's got disc brakes in the front. Let's see, anything? I haven't really noticed if the coil springs are any more or less on the front or on this one versus a standard Bighorn in the 450, but definitely the rear ones are. They're much heavier built. Again, disc brakes. So let's talk about the engine. All right, and this is something that you get used to it, but I don't necessarily like this. This is how you have to raise the bed up. We'll go around to the other side. There's another pin on the other side. So here's the other pin on the other side. Same thing. Got a hairpin. It's kind of hard to get to. I'm an average American man. So pull the pins out. So you got pin loose here and pin loose there. This is not a dump bed. This is a flat bed work truck. All right, now we have the two pins out. We're going to show you how to get to the engine. This is I kind of think it's a con because I can't physically check the oil in the engine without raising the bed up, and it does not have assist, and it's heavy. It's a metal. I'm pretty sure, Tanya, could pick it up, but I notice it. But other than that, that's the two. You got to pull the two pins, and then you have to manually lift this bed up, which means you cannot check your oil if there's something in the bed. So that's to me, that's a con, and I think it's a compromise. You just have to, before you start working, you check your oils. So here is the transmission dipstick. You can get to this right here. If you see right there, that's the transmission dipstick. You can get to that one from the underside, but the engine oil is up front. It's further forward. So I'll show you right here where it is. If you can follow my finger down right here. See it? See my finger right there? That's the dipstick for the engine oil. So there's really no way to get to that unless you're some sort of, triple jointed person. And here is the other issue. Let's say, for example, I'm average thickness of arm right here. I like to think more, but not. Just it is. I cannot get I can't reach it from this side to check the oil. So I have to raise the bed up, and you can stay on this side with the camera, and I'll come around so you can see what I'm doing. To check the oil, I have to come on this side and reach across to get to the oil dipstick. I use the Leatherman just to break the dipstick loose because I want it tight. And then let me show you here. This little line right here is kind of in the way. It is, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It is, but it's not. So here is your air filter. This is the air filter. Once you have the bed up, the air filter is easy to get to. Once you have the bed up, which the bed comes off with just two pins, you could if you really wanted to work on this, you just disconnect the wiring harness, which is just a plug, and then pull these two pins, and the bed comes right off. So it'd be really easy to service this. If I was going to do when I do my legit, $100 service, I'll probably just take the bed off and then put it back on when I'm done, because that way I don't have to be doing all this stuff. But even so, as far as side-by-sides goes, this is relatively easy. This is easy to work on. Everything's just pretty well easy to get a hold of. Spark plugs on this side, so every once in a while I change the spark plug. This is a 400cc, like 396cc, fuel injected. It starts on the first go, and I'll go ahead and start it real quick so you can listen. So let me take my microphone off here and give it to Tanya so she can let you hear what it sounds like here. Guys, this is a microphone, and it's not a true representation of what it sounds like in person. But I will say that this one's a little bit quieter than the two-seater version. And the reason being is because the engine is further back. All right, here we go. We're going to start it up. Put on the brake. So it's reasonably quiet compared to the 2-seat version. I'm trying to think of anything. So we showed you coolant up front. It's got the radiator up front. We showed you how to check the oil in the engine, oil and transmission, air filters, fuel filters under the seat. Got your differentials in the back. Let's see here. See if there's anything else that I can think of that we would want to see. It's just really simple. Now my sneaking suspicion is there's a wiring harness right here. It's plugged off. I got a sneaking suspicion that's probably going to be for some sort of an electric over hydraulic pump that will engage this and make this a dump bed at some point. I don't know if that would be a fact. I have no insider knowledge other than I see this right here. Could be an air conditioner, who knows? But yeah, here is your, as you go forward, there's your drive shaft going to the front. It's got a carriage bearing up there in the middle, so it's got a pretty long drive shaft. So it's nice that it has a pretty much a standard carrier bearing for the drive shaft, so it won't wobble around. I can't let the bed down from this side. I have to go around to the other side. I got to lift it out of its carriage. This goes back and locks in place right here. You see it right there. And drop this back down. I ordered these pins. They're about $12 a piece. It's going to make this process so much easier. Put your pin through. And this is another thing, like, I don't know that my wife could do this with a hairpin and a single finger. It's a little stout. So probably end up putting some different kind of pins in there. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's just kind of in an awkward place. I'll go do the other side and be right back with you. So it has these cool LED headlights. I mean, these are bright. Right here is a, that's on low beam. And then I'll go ahead and throw the high beam. You'll see the other little light bulbs come on in the center. Yeah, that throws some serious light out. I'm telling you, this is, I would say it's a little bit more of a floodlight version versus like a car's directed beam. But you can see a good ways on high beam. All right, so we're in the cockpit again, and I call it cockpit. We're in the operator station, and one thing my wife brought up, she goes, it just doesn't turn as sharp as the 550. And the reason being is the 550's, first off, it turns a little bit sharper. Second off, it is a lot shorter. So when you have a longer wheelbase, obviously you lose turning radius. Under the normal circumstances, this front end with on the 2-seater, it turns perfectly fine. However, because this is so much longer, it does take a little bit of time to turn it. She's going to step across. I'm going to start it up and just do a circle and show you what the turning radius is. And you know, it's just approximate, give you an idea, but it's still, I think it's something, it's not necessarily a con, it's just something you're going to have to understand. All right, you coming? Get up in there. All right, sit down. He thinks he's got to get in the seat. You're so spoiled, dog. All right, you want to step back over there, and I'll do some donuts. Go way back so they can see the whole circle. So this is starting out. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my steering wheel. Got it in high range. That's all the way. Here we go. That was turning in up a hill. So that's full turn to the right and park. Yeah, that's full turn to the right, and it did come back to its original position. So I think it's not a con. It's just the fact that it's a long wheelbase. You're gonna have to take that into consideration. You know, they can't see me and they're hearing you hassle. Get in. Come on.
Come on, guys.
Come on. We're trying to do a review here. Come on, get in. He wants to go for a ride.
Come on.
Look at my seats.
Come on.
He's like, let's ride. He wants to go for a ride. So, I got it running here, and I want to talk about the power. I kind of skipped over that. This is roughly a 400cc fuel-injected unit. I can't remember the exact horsepower. I'll put it up here. However, this is not meant to go behind. It's not. I always say I say it's 10% fun, 90% work. That's what this thing is meant for. Without a load in the back, it's kind of a rough rider, and that's what it's supposed to be. So if you want to be able to carry a load, you got to have springs that'll do it. So power, we'll put it in. I'm just going to take off from a dead stop and show you what it sounds like and it looks like taking off from a dead stop, 0 to whatever it'll do. This is low range. You want to step back just a little bit so you can get the whole picture of the whole thing. I'm gonna shoot up through there, and they can see what it's going to look like. Ready? It's low range. So low range 2-wheel drive, it will definitely scratch the real wheels off with nothing in it. You can see where it actually tore the grass up. And now we're in high range. It's not going to scratch off as fast, but I found that it does pretty good. Again, if you take it into consideration, this is meant for working. So here's high range, 0 to wide open. So for what it's meant to do, I think it's really good. We'll run it out here on the road real quick and get you a speed. You guys sit here in the floorboard, so Mama said, come on. All right, put your booty down. You're gonna turn it in forward drive, leaning on. Sit down. All right, we got room for me, Tanya, and Gizmo. This is very important. We need a 12-seater is what we need. We need a 2-seater with a 3rd row for Gizmo. Well, I guess it'd help if I put it in gear. No, that's my fault. All right, so that's miles per hour. You get on the road here and go out. You put your seatbelt on real quick. Safety first. All right, this is, we're gonna get on the blacktop. We are in 2-wheel drive. So this is 2 adults and a Gizmo. So that'd be the equivalent of 2 grown men. All right, pretty level. It goes downhill a little bit, goes back up a hill. We'll run down through there. So we're 25 miles an hour. And granted, this ain't broke in either. This is going up a slight hill. They're going to make 30 up this hill. 30 miles an hour uphill. Run it that hard, that long. This is, still brand new. I got to break it in. So this is where your turning radius. I am able to turn it around at this cul-de-sac here, but pretty much where it's at. And honestly, I'm not going to run it that hard. I'm probably going to be at 25 or 23, 25. I mean, we're not going to have this on the road. This is the work. It's going to be around the farm. We're going to be carrying food to the goats and chickens, and it's going to be just work. I think it's going to break in and do better. because I just went up that hill and it picked up to 30 miles an hour going up the hill. This thing's not even broke in yet. Temperature gauge running pretty good. Voltage is 13.8. I got the headlights on, turn them off, see what happens. Jumps up to 14. So here's a pretty deep ditch, you really don't see it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in full drive, put it in low range, and I'll just traverse this. Ooh, you can smell the new burning off of it. So I was on 3 wheels because the suspension is so stiff. All right, 2-wheel drive. Now let's see what it, does it show it on the little screen? Yeah, so you put it on full drive, it shows it right there on and off. And then there's my gizmo. Like, what is that? That is my hazards, left turn signal, right turn signal, and then like I said, lights, shows the light come on. So let's see, light on, let's see if it says high beam. Yep, high beam comes on blue just like in a car. I think we're, everything else, I don't, okay, here's the lock for the differential for the rear. Let's see if that comes on in the screen. So it shows a different picture. Okay. So this shows you the rear differential lock. This shows you the 4-wheel drive is in. So you can have the 4-wheel drive on. I just turned the rear differential lock off. Or you can have the 4-wheel drive off. So that 4-wheel drive's off, but you want your, I can have the rear differential lock. So if I just need a little extra pulling, I would probably do it like this. If I need a little extra pulling, I'm going to go 4-wheel drive. If I need a lot of extra pulling, I'm going to go rear diff lock. So that I'll have 3 wheels guaranteed to be pulling. For what we're going to be doing with it, I don't know that that's going to be a big issue. Gizmo hair everywhere. Okay, guys, I think I have covered this pretty good. This is, like I said, it's only got 12 miles on it. It doesn't have any kind of real use yet. However, this is not a new system, so I feel pretty comfortable in saying it's going to be pretty good. The fit and finish is really good. I do have a front windshield. It's an option that I got, and we will be putting that on there. We'll probably end up putting it on there, but I find it to be just nice to have the full view when you're out here working. So if there's anything you would like me to talk about or something I missed, I would really like you to leave a comment in the comment section, because I don't do these reviews every day. My buddy Joe the farmer, now he's a side-by-side UTV expert, ATV expert, mini Jeep expert. I'll leave a link to his channel. He's got a lot more experience on this, and he also has a video of this particular unit in the 2-seater version, and I found that video to be very helpful for me in understanding this one. God bless. Have a great day. Gizmo, you got my seats dirty, buddy. Oh, you gonna ride? Where's he at? Put it back high range. Bye, Gizmo. He did not like that.